Assalamu alaikum guys, my name's Abdul Maalik Tailor and this is a brief story about how I came to Islam. I used to be a practicing Hindu once upon a time, more than 20 years ago, and I was born in Hackney, in the London Borough of Hackney in North London, and we relocated to Walthamstow. I think I was at that time maybe about 13 years old, and in Hackney I went to a Church of England school. I was putting up hymn numbers in the church, and I also grew up in a neighbourhood that was Jewish, you could say. So I in fact had a early experience of different religions, you could say, and obviously my birth religion was Hindu, and I was also a vegetarian. And I did pilgrimage to India as well to see a man god, such a Sai Baba, who was wearing an afro. He's died now anyway, the man god. And when we were there, I remember we were hearing the adhan, and I used to think to myself, why is this Muslim worshipping Allah when you've got like God here in front of us? Because I was brought up to believe that anyone could be actually God. God can be reincarnated as well. But we came back to London. I went with like a youth group at that time, and we had 4 interviews. And to have one interview is considered to be special. Having more than one, like 3 or 4, we ended up having 4, was unheard of, and that's why we were labelled the chosen London boys. And when I came back to London, I was also given, sharing my experiences on the circuit, going different such as Sai Baba places and speaking about my experiences with him. And he believed in multi-faithism, like Christianity, Judaism, Sikhism, was all considered to be one in the same goal, if you like. And some examples they would use were, there's different paths that leads to the top of the mountains. They're effectively the different paths of different religions, and their main aim was the same. So when I came back, I actually met some Pakistanis, and that's when a lot of people say, oh mashallah, that's when you were given hidayah. I was like, not quite. Unfortunately, they didn't introduce me to Islam, and it's considered to be rude, to be honest. They would take the mickey out of me for being a Hindu, and I could catch them out on certain questions, if you like. For example, why was it that Muslims, if they're not supposed to kill, why would they kill a cow? That was something they couldn't even answer. So obviously it shows, the lack of knowledge they have when you look back at it now. And I remember that Ramadan was coming up, and I thought, let me fast, because such a Sai Baba speaks about multi-faithism, and let me embrace, the spirit of Ramadan. So I managed to get a prayer timetable, and I fasted. Then within that year, I think I was 17 at that time, and the following year, 18, when I embraced Islam, that was my year of discovery, when I was actually looking at Islam. And I thought to myself, I've been raised as a Hindu, and what do I actually know about Islam? So I didn't have much knowledge about Islam apart from the media, to be honest, which wasn't good. And when you think about it, obviously it's a bit of a lesson that we need to embrace the media. I think as a community we've been late, and we don't actually view the media as a medium of dawah properly. Alhamdulillah, this short video, I believe, will be. Well, what happened anyway, I was doing comparisons between Islam, Christianity and Hinduism. I thought to myself, have I ever met somebody who knows the Sanskrit the entire Sanskrit from memory? Nobody. Did I come across anyone who knew the Bible, the entire Bible? Nope. Did I come across a Muslim who knew the whole Quran? Yes. What was the language the Quran was revealed in? Arabic. The Sanskrits were, sorry, the Vedics. What was that revealed in? And it was, so the original language was Sanskrit, but did I know anyone who spoke it? Nope. And even Christianity to this day, when I have conversations with Christian, I always say to them, can you get me the original Bible in Aramaic? And they keep thinking that I'm saying Arabic. I said, no, Aramaic. I go, that was the original language which Jesus spoke. They, for some reason, think it's a European language like Latin. Did I know anyone who knew Latin? Oh, well, no. That's how Sanskrit was. It's near enough like a... So what happened when I became Muslim? Parents didn't like it. First I was getting verbal abuse, then it became physical. We used to have a dog, and the dog's chain was used against me. And one night I had a good old beating, if you like, and I was given the ultimatum: give up what I'm doing or get out of the house. I had no option and had to leave. But that didn't stop my family members coming after me afterwards. If I was visiting a particular mosque, they wanted to drive down there, check me out and everything like that. They saw me on the streets, they would still come after me. So it was very testing times, as they say. And I moved on the London Borough of Waltham Forest 6 times in 1 year, and my belongings moved about 9 times. And I was just wondering, subhanAllah, you know, when is this test going to finish? Everyone's telling me when you come to Islam, everything's so easy. And I'm thinking, you know, this is a different side. You know, it's definitely not what I've been told what Islam is. And yeah, it was quite testing time, I guess, as I said. But having said that, from that life experience, kind of prepared me in some ways for a different life experience that I was going to have later on in my life. And now, to be honest, it's just something that when I speak to other new Muslims or potential Muslims, I'm in a better grounded position, you could say, to inform them, prepare them. And when they hear about my lived experience, they realize themselves that what they're going through is not actually as bad as what I went through, where my family members were prepared to kill me as I adopted Islam as my way of life. And I think there's a lot of Islamophobia amongst the Hindu community, and some are willing to learn, but you do get some hardcore members of the Hindu community. They just don't wish to come out of a mindset that they've been raised with of how Islam is. You know, Islam spread by the sword, it's like this, etc. You've got to be wary of the Muslims, etc. But times are changing. But with the current climate in India, with the politics over there are a lot more Muslims who are suffering, and there's a lot more opposition to dawah amongst Hindus. When I speak to ex-Hindus and ex-Sikhs, people don't realize that they're going through a stage in their life that they think they have to keep themselves hidden, and they can't come out, they can't be open about their newly adopted faith. And I say to people who are ex-Hindus, ex-Sikhs, you've got to try as much as possible to be open about your faith and stop being a secret Muslim, because it's having an impact on you mentally. And you know, you need to make yourself much more grounded in the religion, as well as look for better support. And the more open one is about their faith, what I've noticed is that they have less of an impact, mental impact. And that's something to consider. My closing advice to new Muslims. Yes, we'll probably lose family. Yes, we'll probably lose friends. We'll probably lose kids as well. And if you have belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're gonna make it against all odds. Might take you long, you might get hurdles along the way, etc., but you will be successful. I remember, our reward lies with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not nobody on earth. My name's Abdul Maalik Tailor. That is a brief look about my journey to Islam. Take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Just a short message. I'd like to add something in terms of my work. I am Britain's first professionally qualified Muslim history tour guide, and what I do is actually showcase Muslim history in Britain to different domestic customers, international customers, tourists basically. Doesn't necessarily have to be Muslims, can be non-Muslims as well, about the Muslim heritage that exists in Britain. And I've managed to discover some hidden gems. For example, London's first mosque, the site of London's first e-press of 1894, and that took place in North Chingford, out of all places. And I normally give my tours wearing a red fez hat, so if you see anyone with a red fez hat, that's me. And I do have walking tours. I have sightseeing bus tours as well, which are quite popular this season. You know, daytime one, I have a nighttime one, so you can see London lit up like never before. It's all beautifully lit up. I even had sisters and brothers saying to me, Abdul Maalik, we have never seen London so beautifully lit up. Thank you for showing us. And there is a daytime bus tour as well, sightseeing bus tour, and there's also the River Thames cruises as well, where you can get to experience the River Thames, London by the Thames. And I'm pretty sure many of you have never done that, and where you can also have Muslim commentary, looking at all the Muslim significant sites, the landmarks, the Thames itself, the Ottoman ships that came there, the pirate ships as well. Who were they? Where did they go? What happened to some national treasure from the Ottomans that got stolen? And at the same time, what we can do on River Thames is offer halal afternoon tea, afternoon lunch and dinner as well. And there is also a murder mystery cruise as well, where you can have a 3-course dinner as well, and a whodunit, who killed who, on a boat on the River Thames. Do check us out on www.halaltourismbritain.com.